You're listening to Mira Business FM.
It's Mira Business FM. Friday morning is at 10 o'clock. Gold. I was going to say a golden hour. It's not really. It's more of a golden half hour. But there you go. We'd usually be speaking to Jeff Rhodes this morning, however, since he's travelling to London, I think, at the moment. We're honoured to have the opportunity to speak to the founder of a company known for selling some of the most important coins in all kinds of different coins as well, and we'll find out more about that in a moment. But the company's called Numismatica Genevensis SA. Our guest is an expert in numismatics, the study or collection of currency. He's a collector himself and a curator. He was the man behind the famed Coins of Islam, History Revealed, held at the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque in Abu Dhabi in early 2020. Dr. Alain Baron, welcome to Mira Business FM.
Good morning, Tim.
It's good to have you on the show. I appreciate your time, Alan. Let's start with the exhibition that I mentioned there. It showcased one of the world's most significant collections of Arab and Islamic coinage ever assembled, many of which had never actually been seen before in public. It was kind of a unique insight, I think, and perspective into the past and the historical developments that, continue to shape our world today. Is that still kind of the thrill of gold coins for you personally?
Well, the thrill of coins has been following me since I was a kid of 5 years old. So basically, the thrill has always been there. And even if my interests today generally are wider than just coins, it is and will always be my passion.
We live in a time, Alan, don't we, of virtual coins now, cryptocurrencies. That's likely going to revolutionize our system. The good old physical coins offer us a pretty unique glimpse into history's greatest empires. Most of us have kind of looked at a coin and wondered, what's the story behind that? You pick it up, you brush the dirt off, the dust off, and you wonder, I guess, whether a centurion may have held that in his palm at some point.
Well, it's obvious that coins tell the history of the world, and the first coins were struck about 2,600 years ago. So yes, we are coming to a very interesting time, because the big question is going to be, will the coins still be struck by governments? Will they still survive? Will they still survive? Will they be replaced by virtual coins? This is obviously a big question. As a numismatist, and I had long studies at the University of Vienna and Rome, had a PhD in numismatics. I will always be an advocate of coins, because coins tell the story of the world. And in some cases, they're the only witnesses of very important historical moments that happened 1,000 or 15 years ago. When we had the exhibition, I organized at the Abu Dhabi Grand Mosque under the patronage of Her Highness Shira Fatima. We were showing basically the importance of coins and the bridges between Western and Arab civilizations and all the interactions that happened. And it was very interesting to see that a lot of viziers, a lot of historical names of the Muslim periods are only surviving thanks to the coins. And we were also showing that coins were struck in the holy cities of Islam, such as Mecca and Medina. And again, they are, in many cases, the only surviving witnesses of these early periods of the time of the Prophet.
It's a remarkable thing when you see a coin from whatever time period it is. There's something about I guess it's a tangible thing, it's a physical thing, and it's an emotive thing. You're a believer, aren't you? That if you understand and you have knowledge of old coins, it encourages people to, bring cultures together, to love other cultures almost, other religions as well. Coins, money have kind of I guess it's an allure that brings people together almost in the way that, maybe breaking bread does together, enjoying food together does.
It's an excellent point. And, when I held, or rather said, when I saw my first coin, I was 5 years old. And I was so shocked that a coin could have survived so long. I mean, the coin was a Swiss coin dated 1886. The scene happened in 1967. I was with my dad, 5-year-old kid at the time, and I was absolutely mesmerized by this beautiful coin that had managed to survive 100 years almost. And my father found that so interesting that a little boy could be so fascinated by a witness of history that he bought me this coin that I still have.
Mm.
And this was the beginning of a long, long journey. And as you very rightly said, coins tell a story, and when you touch them, there is a lot of emotions and a lot of interaction between closed chapters of history that still influence the present, and the kind of discussions you can have as a living human being with the great personalities of histories that are in the palm of your hand. So it's a permanent discussion and exchange with history and with what made the world of today.
So it was when you were 5 years old that you were clearly that was the spark. But what was it that led you to make numismatics a career, Alain?
Well, I think I probably had a fairly obsessive personality from the age of 5, and and I think that sometimes you are blessed because there is a sign, whether it's from the skies or however you want to interpret it. There's a sign that this is going to be your journey.
Mm.
And since the age of 5, I never had a doubt that I would deal with coins all my life, whether from a scientific point of view. So I wrote, of course, various books and articles. I studied for 7 years at the Numismatic Institute in Vienna and in Rome. I opened my auction house in Geneva in 1988. And basically, I always had a foot in research collaboration with universities, governments, museums, and also with the world of collectors. So we have built very extensive collections and published them and exhibited them worldwide. And we always had some research activities as well as commercial activities.
I guess it's kind of fortunate, isn't it? If you kind of knew what you wanted to do when you grew up, when you were 5. I think lots of us, myself included, probably still don't quite know what we want to do when we grow up. Let me ask you this: you're also, I think it's fair to say, obviously based in Abu Dhabi, but you're something of an authority on Islamic coins. You consult here in the Arab world. But what got you interested in coins in particular from this part of the world?
Well, the interesting part is I started getting interested in Islamic coins about 15 years ago only,
Yeah.
because when I was studying at university, it was mostly about medieval, ancient, Roman, Greek, but very little about Islamic. And I noticed that the coin markets for Roman, Greek, modern coins are extremely structured, extremely well researched, whereas the research on Islamic coins and the market evaluations have always been incredibly thin, and the research on Islamic coin is only a few decades old in this part of the world, whereas Roman Greek have been studied for the last 600 years.
Mm.
And so the Islamic coin world has basically still about everything to unveil, because um, a lot of research must be put into it, and people have very little understanding as of today of the rarity, of the importance of Islamic coins. And that's how I decided to invest a lot of time in it. So I've built very, very major collections of Islamic coins, most probably the best collections in the world in private hands. And we have exhibited some at the Abu Dhabi Grand Mosque at the time in 2020. We now have an exhibition running in the National Museum in Riyadh, in collaboration with the Ministry of Culture of Saudi Arabia. And I would say that Islamic coins are very, very fascinating because they have so much to say, and we're only at the very beginning of this knowledge.
I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? It must be a voyage of discovery, a voyage of learning for you. And when you consider the historical, I guess, the historical trade routes in this region, there's a wealth of knowledge to unlock.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, in pre-Islamic times, you had already some Greek and Roman coins that came as far as the Gulf region.
Mm.
Uh, and these coins were so popular everywhere as trade coins that local engravers started to copy Greek coins 2,000 years ago so that the local populations would accept them. And they're very interesting because you have the pattern, the prototypes that are beautiful looking Greek cards with portraits of Alexander the Great and so on, and the imitations made by the local engraver 2,000 years ago look like an abstract painting. So it's remarkable to see that the infancy of coinage in this region basically is a copy of the great civilizations of the time, you know.
Mm.
And then Islamic coins with the Umayyad periods became very, very well struck, very intelligent coins with the name of the mint, the date when it was struck, and they became an incredibly sophisticated uh, coinage that basically was even better and more organized than the Western coinage. So, in a few hundred years, it completely shifted.
It's interesting that, isn't it, that money was so well regarded, I guess. But in many ways, not a surprise. You know, calculus comes from this region, of course. Let me ask you this: numismatic is literally means of coin. But is there a difference between being a coin collector and a numismatist?
Well, a numismatist refers to someone who is interested in coinage, generally speaking. So, a numismatist can be a university professor, a researcher,
Mm.
and not necessarily a collector.
Okay. Let me ask you about gold at the moment, because obviously gold coins are at the heart of, I guess, many collections. But I'm interested in your thoughts on overall the market. Usually at this time on a Friday, Jeff Rhodes, a friend of yours, would be here talking gold prices, precious metals prices. We're currently witnessing, it's really an historic bull run, or it has been, in the price of gold. It's corrected in the past week or so. Gold's trading round about, I don't know, 3,990 an ounce at the moment. I'm interested. Does the spot price have a significant effect on numismatics and gold coin collecting?
Well, basically, um, for coins that have a very high historical value, um, the price of the metal is completely irrelevant, I would say.
Okay.
Um, so if you can have a bronze coin that is worth $1 million, so the value of the material would be negligible.
Mm.
But ironically, some of the coins that used to be very common and very cheap, such as Islamic gold dinars, you have to imagine that since coins at the moment are not are only collected Islamic coins by a very limited number of people. Sometimes you still can buy Islamic gold coins now at around the price of gold, and we're talking about coins that are 1,000 years old.
Right.
Of course, this will change with time because people will get more and more interested and finding gold coins that are 1,000 years old at around gold price will be history. But in this case, yes, I would say that there might be an impact, of course.
Huh.
Uh, Now, coins are a tangible asset, so gold is a tangible asset that people want to own physically. So yes, there is a bit of influence that people are today destabilized by the insecurity of the world, and so they want tangible assets. So yes, the impact is that people are more and more looking at coins as an investment tool or an artwork um, that is very historically interesting. Um, the impact, ironically, on bullion gold coins,
Mm.
uh, since gold has been going up enormously, so about 60% since the beginning of the year, which is absolutely unheard of. Um, the premium on gold coins are actually at the moment very, very low. In other words, you can buy English sovereigns that are 100 years old or US gold coins, etc., at a couple of percent over gold, which honestly is almost unheard of. So the market will adapt. If gold remains that high, the demand is going to increase, and the premium on the gold bullion coins will increase again. But at this stage, the premium on the gold coins are at a historical low, which honestly would be a good recommendation for investing and maybe hedge the gold to be protected from a move down.
Let me ask you more broadly about what we've seen in gold. You mentioned there 60% rise, the huge rise we've seen in gold. The bull run is likely to continue. I guess the correction is that, well, the guess is it's a short-term thing. Most predictions are gold at five, perhaps even $6,000 an ounce. The trading this morning ran about 39.90, as I said, but I'm interested in your thoughts overall on what we've seen in the last year, Alain.
Well, basically, it's not even so much the last year; it's this year. At the beginning
True.
of the year,
Mm,
gold was about 60% lower.
mm,
So I think it's completely unprecedented. Of course, the geopolitical climate at the moment creates some uncertainties, and a lot of people are running into gold as a tangible asset. I mean, from a personal experience, a movement of 60% without any retracement is unheard of. We did retrace 10%. Is that the end of the retracement or not? I don't know. Nobody knows.
mm.
But I think excesses are always being corrected. Um, I would agree that the global view of people, and as long as the world generally is in such a state with potential wars and that do not seem to stop with economical difficulties, everything speaks for gold. So most probably, as long as the situation globally remain unchanged, there's no reason for the trend to change. It doesn't mean that we could not correct another 10 or 15%. But yes, I mean the 5,000 that everybody is talking about might not be unrealistic.
Mm. Tangible assets are back in fashion is absolutely true at the moment. Let's look at the market for gold coins. How would you characterize that right now?
I would say that it's a great buying opportunity because if you can now buy coins that were struck by governments, so means that you don't have any problem about the origin of the gold, because they were struck and guaranteed by governments 100 years ago or more. I would say that when there's always been a double leverage on gold coins, so leverage on the increase of the price of gold and leverage on the price of the premium. And at the moment, as I said, premium are at an absolute historical low. So I would say yes, they are great buying opportunities of historical gold coins. I mean, if you want to buy a sovereign with a portrait of Queen Victoria or King George for a few percent over gold, it's completely feasible at the moment,
Mm.
which is almost unheard of. I would say that for the people that believe that gold might go down, but the premium is way too low. You can buy the coin and hedge the gold. For the people that think that gold is going to the moon, then they should buy gold coins and not hedge them.
It, we live in a city here in Dubai known as the City of Gold. The UAE is very much, I don't know, it's an attractive gold destination. Let's put it that way. One of the things on most people's kind of, UAE bucket list is probably, it's fair to say, a visit to the gold souk. But we don't see gold coins from here in the UAE. There's really no market as yet, Alain. Alain, why is that?
Well, there is a very strong reason that explains that there is no market for gold coins at the moment. The VAT in the UAE is applicable, as well as custom duties, on all coins that which fineness is under 990. So, in other words, theoretically, many coins like a Krugerrand or a $20 gold piece. So most of the coins that where the finest was under 990 would be, of course, taxable.
Mm.
And if they're taxable, in in the UAE, and they're not taxable in most other countries in the world. Think about Switzerland, Europe. There's special regulations for all the bullion gold coins, and they're completely exempt of VAT. So there's no chance ever that the UAE will be able to create a big market on all the gold coins, which is a huge mass that have a fineness under 990. So I would say that if the UAE did align with international regulations with the VAT, then one could create an extraordinary hub. One could probably have the UAE as a capital of the trading of gold coins in the world, because the UAE have always been extremely progressive in a lot of approaches that they had. They're always ahead of the game. If they wanted to have a position in this industry that is probably a turnover of probably today $30 billion a year, the market of gold coins, then they would need to have a new regulation that aligns with international regulations.
You can see it, can't you? I mean, I'm just sat here thinking if I came to the UAE as a tourist, and I'm not really a jewelry guy. I'm not going to go out and buy chains and stuff or rings to wear. But a gold coin is something, as a memento. I think I'd really think about that, with the UAE, I don't know, the UAE falcon on there, or whatever the design was.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, people love to come to the UAE for a huge number of reasons, and we would all love, of course, to be able to develop a strong coin market in the country. Now, I would be more than happy to start a dialogue with the authorities and see if there's a way to have a VAT regulation on coins that is the same than the one that is in most countries in the world.
Well, let's hope we can see something like that, because I think that'd be a very attractive proposition. Just a couple of more questions. I know you're busy, Alain. We're coming up to a break here. But is there a coin, and this goes back, I guess, to the original spark for you, that spark of interest, that love for the field of numismatics. Is there a coin you'd most like to see? Is there I don't know, holy grail of coins? I don't quite know how to put it, really, that you've never managed to get your hands on?
Well, you see, that's a good question because, in life you always want what you didn't get so far, right?
Sure.
So I was very blessed in my life to have had in my hands a very large number of world's most important coins. There's one coin, if we talk about Islamic, that I did hold in my hand, but I never was the owner of it because the only time I had the privilege of holding it was in a museum. So one of the earliest gold coins of Islam is called the Standing Caliph. So it's a coin of Abd al-Malik that where you have the ruler standing with an Arab legend on it. It's one of the earliest coins in Islam, one of the greatest rarities.
Mm.
And all the coins that I have seen so far were fake. The only genuine one was the one that I had in my hands in this museum. So yeah, it would be a holy grail because I never had a chance to own a genuine one so far.
It's been fascinating talking to you, Alain. I really appreciate you coming on to join us here at Mira Business FM. Alain Baron is the founder of Numismatica Genevensis. He's based in Abu Dhabi. He's an expert in numismatics, which is the study or collection of currency. Alain, thank you very much for coming on to join us.
Thank you so much for having me, Tim. Have a very lovely day.
And you. Thank you very much indeed. This is Mira Business FM.
Mira Business FM.